Hi, everybody. Nathan White, candidate for Palm Bay City Council, seat 4, coming to you with a brief recap of this past Palm Bay City Council meeting. So this video is not what I thought it was going to be about or like or focused on based on looking at the agenda prior to the meeting. I actually thought it would be more about the Majors Golf Course because though not listed on the agenda, it has become an extremely hot button issue in Palm Bay, and that is the proposal or request to rezone the Majors Golf Course in Bayside Lakes, not for different type of recreation, not for single-family residential or rural residential, as the area would lend itself to, but dense residential, if not multifamily residential, something like apartments possibly even, unclear at the moment. And a lot of people did show up to the council meeting to voice their disagreement or opposition to that request, even though we haven't gotten to the point of it coming before council just yet. But that ended up not being the, as some would say, the spiciest moment of the evening. That came, per usual, pretty late in the meeting. About 10:15, give or take, would be the timestamp, depending on exactly where you want to start talking about it. But we heard a phrase, a term, come out of the dais that I did not think I would hear, that I never wanted to hear come out of that dais, and that was eminent domain. Now, for those who may not know, eminent domain is essentially the right of government to take private property, compensating the original owner with fair market value, and they have no say in the matter. The government just gets to take it. This has been used a myriad of different ways in a myriad of different places, some more understandable than others, most not very understandable, and I am pretty darn thoroughly against the concept as a whole. No one should be able to simply take away your land just because they want to, or because they think they can do something better with it, or it's better used in some other way. It is a complicated issue on the grand scale, but in this one, not so much. This came up with regards to public hearing item number 14, the ordinance granting approval of a final development plan for a PUD zoning residential subdivision to be known as Richmond Cove PUD, on a property located west of and adjacent to Gaynor Drive in the vicinity north of Ocean Spray Street. It's 29.15 acres. This was the final reading, quasi-judicial, of the final development plan. So this has been going for a while. Several things have been brought before council, several stages of the PUD, the planning. Most of them require 2 readings, so that means 2 meetings. So each step requiring 2 meetings, that's about a month. This has been going on for a while. And our resident watchdog, Bill Batten, has brought up multiple times issues with this planned development that the city, the developer, just didn't seem to want to address. And one of those issues came to a head this past council meeting on Thursday. I think I'm actually going to just share with you a brief clip of Bill Batten explaining just what went wrong here and how it could have been avoided.
2018 planned unit development was brought in on Gaynor Road, right? Same builders as these, Holidays. That time, the city council recommended and approved removal of the berm, which allowed all traffic to come onto Gaynor Road. March of 2021, the developer proposal for a 60-acre rural residential land mass change, right, turned into actually only 30 acres. April 2021, Planning and Zoning recommended disapproval at that time for this development. May 2021, Council approves zoning change and PUD. At that time, I presented that there was no right-of-way along Gaynor. December 2021, developer presented a final development plan proposal for 30 acres. At that meeting, I asked about no right-of-way and how they were going to run the water, and I was told, don't worry about it, we have a magic wand. I also, at that time, questioned Gaynor being a major collector road. Right? January 2022, final development plan to council. I asked about no right-of-way on Gaynor Road at this council meeting. February 22nd, Approval of final development plan, first reading. At that meeting, I presented no right-of-way and made it public notice that the developer had said, don't worry about it, we have a magic wand. At that meeting, I also questioned Gaynor being a minor collector road. It is not. It is a local road. In fact, Councilman Felix stated, I use it as a cut-through. March 2022. This is final reading for final development plan. No right-of-way for water and sewer. This means you have to tear up the road. All traffic routed onto a local collector road, which was told in other previous meetings was a local collector road. It is not. It's a local road. That being said, this is your last chance to do the right thing. This is the final reading. And it is the builder's responsibility to get the water there. So you shouldn't be looking about any cost to this. If they want it, they'll pay for it. That's what the agreement was. And it has been presented repeatedly that this was a potential problem, because I personally presented it. It's not like it was something that just happened. That's the history of this event. Thank you very much.
Now, the biggest issue in this situation is the bringing up of eminent domain, and it's the response that that idea was met with. So I'm going to share that with you right now. It's a much shorter clip.
Madam Sherman.
Thank you, sir. One thing I was just speaking with the city attorney about, we have not explored at a staff level, is the concept of eminent domain to acquire the remaining part of the right-of-way. We certainly had a lot of efforts at staff level to negotiate with that property owner to get that remaining portion. That is an option we have yet to explore. So just wanted to let you know that's still something, if you wanted us to look at, we could.
No, go ahead.
That is something I would definitely like to look at, because I just freshly paved road, and like if by any means necessary, I would prefer not to go through it, even if it's 500 feet. So I would prefer looking into that.
So the idea of eminent domain is brought up, the concept of using it to take this Palm Bay residents' property in order to put down this water main without tearing up the road that they put there. My opponent, Kenny Johnson, says by any means necessary, he wants to avoid tearing up that road because we just put it down. Now, I am completely understanding of not wanting to tear up a freshly paved road. But in this situation, my opponent says by any means necessary, he wants to avoid tearing up that road. By any means necessary, apparently including eminent domain. Palm Bay city government simply taking this man's property so that they can make up for not paying attention to Bill Batten's warnings, for not planning ahead, and for not stopping sooner if there really was no way around this. If they were to move forward, they didn't have to move forward. We didn't have to get to the final reading of the final development plan before addressing this, but we did. So I want to end this video by reminding you this Tuesday, March 8th, is the special election. We had to fight to get the special election. Members of council, most members of council, wanted to simply appoint someone, pick someone themselves to govern over us, but we had to fight. We did fight, and we won. We have this special election, so please get out and vote this Tuesday. The polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There are 11 polling locations in Palm Bay. If you haven't already sent your ballot in by mail or that way, then please make sure to get out there and make sure your voice is heard about who's going to be sitting on this council. A reminder again, I am not in this race. I am running in the regularly scheduled election. The primary will be in August, the general in November. But this Tuesday, be sure to get out there and vote. Everyone make your own decisions, your own research on the candidates. Just so you're aware, personally, I'll be voting for Peter Filiberto. I got to sit down with him recently, and though we do not agree on everything, who does? And you don't want a council full of clones. But I think of those on the ballot, he is the right choice. That's a personal decision. I hope you all do your research and make your own decision. And I hope to see you at the polls on Tuesday, March 8th. God bless you, Palm Bay.